Hello, my friends. This is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today from the holy city of Jerusalem, Israel. What a great day it is. Of course, in all fairness, they're all great days. So we're going to talk about something today that is important to understand as we go forward from here. Everybody knows what a template is. Okay, not everybody knows what a template is. So some people, it has the word template, it has the word temple in it, and they might think it's connected to the temple. And who knows, maybe it is, but not in our use of the word today. A template is a way of putting something together so that you know in the future you're going to do it the same way again and again and again. It's a great thing to have in manufacturing, so that everything you manufacture comes out, the first one is just like the last one. This is an important thing to do. Well, what a lot of us don't realize or don't think about sometimes is the fact that there are templates in our religious observances as well and our ways of living. Templates from the very, very beginning. In the very beginning, Hashem gave us templates, how to do things. He planted the seeds, but he required that Adam pray for rain. Which brings me to another point. Not only does Hashem do for us, but as everything starts from the beginning, he wants us to be his partner. That was the very first template. He did not create the world absolutely perfect. Why? He could have. Why didn't he? Perfect would be great. Wouldn't you like perfect? I'd like perfect. Perfect would be fine. But he didn't do that. And he didn't do that for a reason. Because he didn't want us to have what would be referred to as bread of shame. He didn't want us to take something that we had absolutely no participation in to create. So he gave us a world that was not quite perfect yet. Don't get me wrong, it's a great world, but not quite perfect yet. I think we can all agree on that. So what do? It's our job to help to make it perfect. That was the very first template. We know that Hashem wants us to participate in what we do. Taking that forward, let's start with Adam and Eve. He started with Adam and Eve. Adam had to participate. He had to pray for rain. He also told Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply, which required effort on their part. He would provide the children, but they would have to provide the effort. He told them in the garden, you may eat of any tree in the garden. You can read this tomorrow. Any tree, any one you want, enjoy them all. They're great. They're all yours, except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Because if you eat from that tree, you will surely die. And that's what he said. Unfortunately, later on, when Eve was talking to the serpent, who was the most cunning of creatures according to Torah, he asked her about this tree, and she says, yes, we were told that if we eat from it or touch it, we will die. A lesson to be learned for all of us. Don't embellish. Don't put in what isn't there. He didn't say if you touch it, because what happened was the serpent pushed her into the tree. She didn't die, and now he says, see, you're not going to die. You can eat from this. He doesn't want you to eat from this because he doesn't want you to be like him so that you know everything. And if you do, you will be. Anyway, this is another story for another time. But the idea still remains. There's a template for it. There is a template for everything we do. When he said that, it was a template. You may eat certain things. You may not eat certain things. Does that template still hold for us today? You bet it does. Can we eat kosher? Sure we can. And the hechsher, of course, everyone has their own hechsher that they hold by, but it must be kosher. It must be kosher in order for a Jew to eat it and to be doing the right things. So that still holds. How many years? 5,780 years later, we still got a template for how do we eat. Isn't that great? It should give us a feeling of comfort to know that things are set up in such a way that they make sense for us. And if you go right through the Torah from beginning to end, from Torah to Nevi'im, prophets, to the Ketuvim, to the writings, you go into Gemara, you go into the Zohar. I don't care where you go in Torah. You're going to find that there are templates for everything. There's templates for things like keeping Shabbos. When you keep Shabbos, this is what you can do. And this is what you can't do. These are the 39 things you cannot do on Shabbos. How do we know that? Because this is the way Torah has been taught to us. This is the template that has been set. Now, we can call them halachot, and they are halachot, but in essence, what they are is a template. They tell us what we can do, what we can't do. It's not a bad way of living your life, by the way, my friends, is to having templates in your life, to set for yourself something going into a situation knowing this is what I'm going to be able to do, this is what I'm not going to be able to do. You know, there are things that we were not meant to do. We don't fly. Birds fly. We can't swim underwater forever without an aqualung. Fish can, but we can't. Why? Because that's not how the template was made. The fish populate the seas, the birds populate the air, we populate the land, and we control everything from the air to the seas. Not a bad deal. We don't have to go there as long as we control it. And we do, and this was given to us by Hashem, this right. Even when it came to Adam getting a mate, Hashem gave him the task of naming all the animals. And he did. He named all the animals, male and female. He named them all, male and female. Named them all, male and female. He named them all. And he got to the end and he thought, how come I don't have a female? Now, this is another one. See, Hashem said to him, I will give you, is that what you want? You want a female? Then I will give you one. And the rest of the story we know about how he was put to sleep and Hashem took it out of his side and fixed him up, put it together, put him to sleep. And we know the story. But the fact was, he had asked for it. Now, in this particular case, the template was put there for a reason. Why? Any of you married out there? Perfect marriages, right? You and your spouse, you never disagree. You never see things in a different way. You never, I hate to use the word argue, but you never have discussions where you see one side and they see the other. Of course you do. Everybody does. It's part of being married. It's part of the fact that we don't see the same things the same way because we're not the same gender. Of which, by the way, there are only two, in case any of you were wondering. There are only two. Anyway, so we see things differently. And because of that, we have to discuss. We have to see things differently, and then we have to discuss and come up with a decision as to what we're going to do. Fortunately, in my case, I'm very lucky to have a Rabbi who our discussions last a very short period of time, and when they're over, they're done, and they never come back up again to rear their ugly head. Now, in Adam's case, Hashem wanted him to ask for the woman. Why? Why? Because when he got to the point where they weren't agreeing on everything, and they were having discussions to kind of get their way through it, and Adam says, "Why did you burden me with this thing?" Hashem could say to him, you asked for it. You asked for her, so now you are not allowed to complain about her. That also is a template, boys and girls. Something very important. We as human beings, we as adults, we who have relationships, we can't complain. Hashem gave us this person to help us to grow spiritually in the way we need to grow. And that's what we need to do. We need to listen to them. My wife, my Rebbetzin, over and over again says, just remember, women are the microphone of Hashem. You need to listen to them. Because Harav said that. And he's right. You do. That's what they're put there for. Women come into this world at a higher spiritual level in most cases than men. Therefore, their job is to take this poor schlepper and bring him up from madrega to madrega to madrega. And that's what they try to do. Whether that's what it seems like at the moment or not is another matter. But that's what their job is. And that's also why it doesn't work so well in reverse. If you have a man trying to bring the woman up, it's not as hard, it's not as easy, it's much more difficult because the woman, in most cases, is already at a higher level than he is. So how can he drag her up from below where he is? So, all these things come to the same conclusion. There's a template, a template for everything. It tells us what we can eat, what we can't eat, what we can do, what we can't do. When a Chag comes or Shabbos comes, and we know we can't make a phone call before a certain hour, and we realize, okay, Shabbos is over, let's call Shmuley. Shmuley's in America. You can't call Shmuley. It's still Shabbos there. Yeah, but Shmuley, he's not so frum. He's not so observant. It's okay. No, it's not okay. And you know why it's not okay? It's not okay, not for Shmuley, but for you. Because you just spent all of Shabbos building this second soul, raising yourself to a higher level by all the observance you do. And when you call Shmuley, another Jew, during his Shabbos, whether he answers or not, whether he's religious or not, it doesn't matter. You're the one that loses. And we don't want to lose. We want to keep growing. We want to get better. And we want to get better. And we want to make sure we do the most important mitzvot that need to be done. What are the most important mitzvot that need to be done? I have no idea. Nor does anybody else, which makes it equally important that we must do all the mitzvot we can do because we don't know which is the most important one. We think something is minor, like what I just talked about with Shmuley, and yet it is not minor. It may be major. We don't know. So in order to make sure that we can keep growing, that our madrega gets higher and higher and higher, we need to make sure we do as many of the mitzvot as we can, as completely as we can do them. Having said that, I want to wish you all a great Shabbos, a wonderful Shana Tova. You should know nothing but going from strength to strength to strength in this coming year, and you should know you should not know for anything. In other words, you should have everything that you need. You should not want for anything. All right, my friends? Have a great Shabbos. Enjoy, 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 and we'll talk again soon. All the best. Oh, by the way, still coming to America. I'm coming, looks like month of January. I plan to be right now, Florida and Texas. If you have any other ideas, let me know. My email is newlife, NEWLIFE, 181818 at AOL.com. Contact me and let's talk about it. Have a great Shabbos. All the best. God bless.